In statistics, and specifically in pre-graduation level statistics, there are two things which we need to consider when we are talking about confidence levels and interval estimates. Now, the interval estimates and the confidence intervals are intervals, and the confidence level is basically a point estimate. So there is a slight difference between a point estimate and the estimation which is done according to a certain interval or certain range. Now the preferred method is that you go ahead and provide a certain range within which you will say that we have a certain percentage of confidence. So that will be the confidence level. Now let's look at these two basic things first. The probability that we associate with an interval estimate is called the confidence level. This probability indicates how confident we are that the interval estimate will include the population parameter. And in this case, these examples that I am showing you, the population parameter that we are considering is the population mean, the mu. So in both these cases, it's 368 over here, and I'll just go and show you as to what we are trying to do with that. So this is the population parameter that we are considering, that is the population mean. Now, a higher probability means more confidence. In estimation, the most commonly used confidence levels are 90%, 95%, 99%, but we can apply absolutely any confidence level. So mostly people will say that we have 95% confidence or we are estimating the 95% confidence interval of the population mean, which is a certain value, given a certain given a certain statistic from the sample. So taking a statistic from the sample, we are going ahead and we are able to predict as to what will be the probability level in the population. Now let's look at the confidence interval. Is basically, now the confidence interval is given down here. Now these are lower X bar values, and so these are basically confidence intervals. Now in the first example, I am not necessarily talking about confidence intervals, but I have done a video earlier, so I am just trying to link that to this particular video, and that's the reason I have this over here, and it will help us in understanding the concept better. Now over here is the confidence interval. Now the lower X bar value and the upper X bar value, and within this we are saying we are going ahead and estimating with 95% confidence. Now the confidence interval is the range of the estimate we are making. If we report that we are 90% confident that the mean of the population of incomes of certain people in a certain community will lie between, say, this much, say 8,000 to 24,000, or that is what the range is, then we can also go ahead and provide this range as standard deviations. Now I'll come to standard deviations and how to provide the range within those standard deviations, and especially for a sample, that is sigma X bar, how to provide those in the next example. Over here, what I want to look at is presume that we were to say that 95% confidence we have that whatever sample we have chosen, that sample's mean, which is, say, the X bar, a sample mean, the X bar, which is this 362.3, and we have gone ahead and chosen a sample of, say, sample size is 25, and out of a population where the population mean is 368 given to us, and the standard deviation is also given to us. Now these two values, 368 and 15, which now I will shade in orange, are basically two population parameters which have been given to us. Let me put them in red. These are two population parameters which have been given to us, and two statistics from the sample that we have is, one is the sample size and the other is the sample mean. Now having these four inputs, we want to have a 95% confidence level while we predict a certain confidence interval. Now to do this, let's take different samples with the same sample size. So we'll we'll stick to the sample size 25, but we will go ahead and take different samples, which will mean that the sample mean will change. Now this particular figure, that is 362.3, will change. This will remain static, of course, because this is a population parameter. The standard deviation will remain static. That's a population parameter. And also 95% confidence level is what we want to maintain. Now, how do we do this? So, or why would we want to do this rather? The reason we want to do this is so that we can hypothetically go ahead and say that we have considered more than one sample with the sample size 25. In reality, we may not get a chance to do that, but if you go back to my earlier video, I had done a video again taking an example from one of the books that I am referring to, wherein we said that if you were to take a cumulative percentage of 95%, then within that 95% under the standardized normal curve, how much area would fall? What is the probability that a certain area would fall under that? And how will we go ahead? And so we asked for a certain range. And that range was given to us over here. We calculated that range in this particular manner. And how did we calculate this range? We did not refer to the Z table, even though we took out Z values over here. We did not refer to the Z table. And depending on this particular percentage and the Z values that we deduced over here, which is minus 1.96 and plus 1.96, we went ahead and calculated the lower X bar value and the upper X bar value. In these calculations, now what needs to be noticed is that 95% is the cumulative percentage that we are looking at. We are looking at again a calculation which I have explained over here, which is norm s.inv 1 minus C6, well, C6 being nothing but 95% divided by 2. And why we are doing this, I'll just explain that to you in a second. And we've gone ahead and taken the absolute value of this again. So we've taken the positive value basically. And we said this is the lower Z value, this is the upper Z value. While calculating this, we have not gone to the standard deviation, we have not gone to the population mean, we are not bothered about the sample size, we are not bothered about the population size. None of these we are considering. So what we are basically doing is under a standard normal curve, not looking at any of the statistics or the for the sample or any of the parameters for the population, we are straight away going ahead and looking at and presuming that that's a standard normal curve under which we want to find out the area that would lie between 95% symmetrical on both sides from the mean, right? So that is what we are looking at, and we find out that this will be the lower Z value, this will be the upper Z value. But when we convert it into the X values, then of course we go ahead and consider certain statistics from the sample and certain parameters also of the population. Now what we have considered over here is basically, so before I go to this formula, let me see what all I have considered. C4 is basically the population mean. So that's a population parameter that we've considered. So depending on the population mean, the value will obviously, the lower X bar value will change. C7, which is again the lower Z value. Okay, so that is coming from that formula of ours. Could be coming from a Z value table also. So there's that is let's say that's given. So that there's nothing to be calculated there. And then C5, which is the standard deviation of the population. Again, that is a population parameter and not a sample statistic. So again, I'll go and shade these population parameters differently, and the sample statistic will remain yellow. And these are basically the inputs over here. And of course, 95% is what we are calculating. If you were to calculate, say 90%, the Z values would change, accordingly the X scale values would change. But let's stick to 95 now for the example. And what we also need to see over here is that we have not done a point estimation. So there's no one particular value that we have taken on the x-axis, and we have not said that okay, this is the sample mean. We've gone ahead and taken a range for the sample mean, saying that the mean would lie between these two particular these two particular values on the x scale, and that is where the mean of our particular sample would lie. Now, earlier we were deducing the range of the sample means, so that is x bar lower and upper value, and this is the formula that we are using. As area under the standardized normal curve is 100%, and out of that if you reduce 95, what you get balance is 5%, and 5% is symmetrically distributed in both ends of the standardized normal curve. So which means 2.5% at the upper end and 2.5% at the lower end. So not using the Z table, but converting getting the normalized standardized Z values by this particular formula over here, which is norm.s.inv, we get the lower Z value, which is minus 1.960, and the positive Z value we get by going ahead and utilizing this formula, which is basically the absolute value of what we have in C7. Okay. So having done this, what we've achieved is we've gone ahead and got the lower x bar value and the upper x bar value. Now, when we say that we are going ahead and looking at the confidence level, and this being the confidence interval, this being the confidence level, so this being a range estimate and this being a point estimate, okay, 95% values will lie between these two, but how many samples will we have to take? Do we have to take 25 samples? Do we have to take a larger number of samples? And whatever number of samples we take, 95% of those samples will have a range. Now this is very critical. Whatever samples we take, 95% of those samples will have a range, estimate range, which will include the 368 over here, which is the population mean, the population parameter. And if that is true, then our sampling is correct. Then our sampling method is correct. And we've gone ahead and we can say that we have 95% confidence that even though we might not be given this value, which is the population mean, if it is not given to us, still 95% of our samples, whatever those samples might be, 95% of them, say we take 100 samples of 25 sample size. So out of those 100, 95 samples will have a range which will have the population mean falling within that range. Okay, so this is ultimately what we want to achieve as the end result of this particular calculation. Now, if the population mean, that is 368 over here, falls between the range, then I will get a yes over here in this particular, that is D23, 24 that I merged together, right? So let me go ahead and play with this. So what I'll do is I'll keep this constant, and this of course is given to me. I'll go ahead and play with the sample mean, which is the x bar. I'll keep on changing the figures for the x bar. I'll take at least 10-15 figures, and then I'll see out of those how many fell, for at least, then I'll see if for 95% there were having 368 between that particular range, yes or no. So at least 95% of the time I should get this as yes in place of no over here, this green box. So let's see. Now the first figure that I have is 362.3. okay, so I will record this over here and I'll say fine, this is what I have. The next one that I want is say 370. If 370 is there, okay, then also I'm getting this. Perfect. I'll just go in and put 370. The next one that I have is 362.12. 362.12. Oh. 362.12. No, this does not. So the ones which do not come out as desired will come over here on top. The rest I'll keep noting in this particular 16 row. Okay. Then let me look at 373.88. 373.88. No, 373.88 also does not. But how is this possible? 368 is there and upper value is 379. And I am getting a no over here, which is C21, C15. Yeah, but it is equal to, so I don't know if my formula is working well, because 368 I am getting, and 368 is equal to 368 and C15. So C22 and C21 and C15 are equal, so I should be getting a yes over here. So I need to either check my if or there is something wrong. But any which ways, I'll retain this figure. I'll say 373.88 is okay. 373.88 is fine. And the other figure that I want to check is 360. 360. 360, I'm getting a no because 354 and 365. Yeah, so fine. So 365, 368 is above 365. So it's above my upper X bar value. So 360 comes over here. Let me again check for 362.12. 362.12. Again, see, 362.12 is okay because it is equal to the upper X bar value that I have over here. So 362.12 will come down here. I will delete it from here. Okay. And let me look at some other values. 369.5. 369.5. I'm getting a yes, so that is okay. 369.5 is here. 0.5. Let's look at say 400. 400. No. Because the okay, so the lower X bar value itself has gone above 368. If the sample mean is X bar. So which means this particular value, which is 400, if we, probably we will not get 400 as the, as one of the sample means. But if we do, then we would realize that this will not help us in our, this particular deduction. So that will not happen. Okay, so how many values do I have here? I have 7, out of which only 5 have gone ahead and given me this particular answer right, or yes over here in the correct manner. I need to play around with this more. But this is the basic logic behind saying that if 95% of all your samples that you choose over a period of time have 368 as the value between this particular range that comes over here, and if you get this yes, or even if you just go ahead and see it for yourself, manually check. Then we can go ahead and state that 95% confidence we have in this particular interval estimate of the population mean, which is 368, given the sample mean X bar is, in this case, not 400, but whatever is one of these values over here in row 16.